Polymarket has Nicolas Maduro at 59% to remain Venezuela's official head of state through December 31, 2026. Maduro is sitting in a federal cell at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn awaiting trial on narco-terrorism charges. He was captured January 3, 2026 in Operation Absolute Resolve, when U.S. Special Forces stormed his compound in Caracas alongside his wife Celia Flores. Delcy Rodriguez sits at 24% in the same market. She was sworn in as acting president, not the official head of state. Maria Corina Machado, the Nobel laureate and opposition leader Trump is meeting at the White House, sits at just 9%. Jorge Rodriguez sits at under 1%, complete noise in the market. So why is a man in U.S. custody still the favorite to be Venezuela's leader on New Year's Eve? The answer is the resolution criteria. Polymarket resolves the question using official information from the UN-recognized government of Venezuela, and that government still calls Maduro the president. Foreign Minister Yvonne Gill walked into the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva and demanded Maduro's immediate release, calling his capture a political operation disguised as a legal debate. The Maduro regime has refused to formally terminate his term, refused to install a permanent successor, and refused to acknowledge any change in head of state. The Polymarket rules explicitly exclude anyone whose term has expired, resigned, or been terminated before December 31, 2026, meaning Caracas just has to keep its mouth shut, and Maduro stays the technical answer. Delcy Rodriguez has shifted from defiance to a more conciliatory tone with the Trump administration, but she has not been formally elevated above acting status. Caracas passed a 2026 amnesty law for democratic coexistence in February that freed 379 political prisoners in a single week, a regime trying to look reasonable while their boss rots in a Brooklyn cell. President Trump has stated the United States will run Venezuela until a transition takes place. Venezuelan officials have reportedly turned over $3 billion in sanctioned oil and are negotiating an energy deal. Volume on this single Polymarket question has hit $87 million, the second most active Venezuela market on the entire platform. The chart tells the whole story. Maduro's line crashed in early January, when U.S. forces grabbed him, then climbed straight back up as traders realized Caracas was never going to formalize his removal. Even from a federal jail in Brooklyn, the official paperwork in the Bolivarian Republic still says Nicolas Maduro is president of Venezuela. Until the regime formally terminates his term or installs a permanent successor, the prediction market keeps pricing in the absurd reality. A man indicted on drug trafficking, narco-terrorism, and weapons charges, sleeping on a thin mattress in a Brooklyn jail cell, is the 59% favorite to be a sovereign nation's head of state on New Year's Eve 2026. That is what happens when a captured dictator's own government refuses to write him off. The world's biggest prediction market has no choice but to keep him on top of the leaderboard. Download No Mercy on Google Play, the Android alarm app that uses a QR code to force you out of bed. Set goals, get persistent reminders. Van X, creator of No Mercy. Using No Mercy helps me publish more conservative news. So please download if you have Android. MAGA only, never socialism.